Hey, Donna Hetzler here with New Dawn Realty, and we are excited to bring you another week of What's Up Wednesday. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hey. Brian's got the motion. Hey.
Oh
What happened to the goatee?
yeah, you shaved.
I
Yeah,
did. It
yeah,
was,
it's all clean shaven now.
I know. Well, boating season began and it was the water on the face was bothering me
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it was like it hangs out and sticks in there.
Well, you can do both looks, so you're good to go. Thanks for joining us week after week. And we want to talk to you guys a little bit today about foreclosures and forbearance. And so we're getting a lot of calls about questions from last week's What's Up Wednesday with forbearance. What does that mean? Brian talked a lot about it on, are you untouchable if you go to get a loan once you've done a forbearance? And forbearance is basically calling your lender and saying, hey, I'm short on funds and I can't make my payments. Can you work with me for a few months? And so if you find yourself in that spot, please reach out to any one of us and we can walk you through. But there's been so many changes in the marketplace, and it seems like things with this whole COVID thing, everything's changing quickly. And so my advice is to call your lender directly and figure out what program they are offering if you have to go to forbearance. It would be ideal if you don't, but there are a lot of people who are out of work or who are still losing jobs. In fact, I have a buyer right now that we put an offer in on a property and the other buyers won out, so we did not get it. And it just came back on the market this morning because the buyer lost their job due to COVID. So we're going out to look at it today. So there's still people losing their jobs. There's still, I think, coming in the future, some foreclosures and some forbearances and things to work through. So we at New Dawn Realty want to keep you out of that as much as possible. So call us for advice. And of course, we're always going to direct you to the lender to find out details. But Brian, you've seen some different programs that different lenders are offering with forbearance. If you call and say, hey, I can't make my mortgage this month, what have you heard in the marketplace with what's going on?
Well, this is kind of with the rules that the private institutions are going to put together. Your Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that are putting these rules together. Some cooler heads sounds like have prevailed because based upon how the rules did exist, if anybody was in some sort of forbearance, there was nothing they were going to be able to do with being able to purchase a new, whether it was to sell and then try to purchase a new one and move up, or whether it was putting somebody in a position to possibly do a refinance. And I think we talked about that before. That's a cash out refinance may end up being one of the best tools to help out a lot of people due to the fact that there's so much equity in so many of these homes that are out here. So that's going to be a nest egg that a lot of people, I think, will be able to tap into to get them through this tough time and keep them on the right track. But so what they did, like I said, with these cooler heads is now that there are people that might technically be in forbearance, but they're still making their payments. So even if they're classified in that forbearance category and they're making their payments, they're still actually eligible for a refinance. So they did fix that one. Now, when we say you have to check with whoever your loan servicer is, that's definitely the first call you got to make if you're having trouble making your payments. So really, they're going to probably either put you in some sort of repayment plan, or they're going to put you in some sort of deferral option, or some sort of loan modification. Depending upon what they put you into, you're going to want to get that all in writing. So, and then once you're into whatever that program is, and then you can get caught up, what they're saying is once you're caught up and you pay that, and then you make only 3 payments, 3 consecutive on-time payments, you're up for, you can qualify whether it's a new home or a refinance. Whereas the rule used to be like if you had a late payment, just a late payment on a mortgage, that you had to have an entire 12-month history of clean mortgages.
Wow.
After one 30-day late. So this is good that if they can have that, get it caught up, and then make 3 payments, and then still be eligible for a new home or refinance.
That's good that they're getting that flexibility and some common sense, it sounds
Correct.
like,
Yep. Agreed.
in that. So this has been struggling with a client too who had a similar issue, right? You were going to come on the market and then couldn't. And what was going on with your client?
Me?
Yes, Denise.
Oh,
She's like, hey.
actually, we did go on the market, and then she informed me that she's on furlough. Her job is still there, but she's not allowed to work, so she has to collect unemployment. So I talked to her loan officer, and her basic words were she's swimming and she's going to drown. She cannot get a new loan right now, so we had to pull it back off the market. So everybody's being affected by this in some way, I'm sure. So make sure you're checking into everything. Call your loan officers. That's what they're there for.
Get some good advice.
Well, and I think, with that, be prepared, get all the information you can. And I know, Denise, you had mentioned that I listen to Brian Buffini every week, and she had watched something on him, and he's been talking a lot, and I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but he was talking a lot about, or has been, about a rolling start. Kind of like NASCAR, and I'll have Denise touch on that in a second, but, what can you do now to slowly get to the point? You can't just jump back in when this is all over, pay all your payments, move on like everything was normal. So what do you do now to kind of get that rolling start to get you to the point of getting to that normal? Because it's not going to happen instantly. And I don't know if you got anything else from that, Denise, that you wanted to share. I didn't watch his video, so.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was about. Just imagine you're watching NASCAR and there's an accident, so there'll be a red flag. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're cleaning up all the mess. We're getting things in order. Then comes out the yellow flag and the pace car. You start coming out slowly. You start your engine. You're rolling around, getting the tires going. And then they lap around a few times, and then he leaves. And then the green flag comes out, and you go 200 miles an hour again. That's where we're going to try and get to. And then, of course, the checkered flag for the win, so you can buy or sell. So that's basically what his spiel was about. And I totally can get that, because I used to race cars, so not in NASCAR, obviously. I'm just a forward racer.
So we have a moment here.
I think my record speed was 178 in a quarter mile, so that's pretty fast.
Oh my goodness. And she can get you to closing that fast too.
Yes. There you go.
Here's your plug. But I don't think things like, I know you said we're going to get back up to 200 miles an hour again, and we are rolling. Like, the market is super hot and our inventory is really low, but I do think there's going to be some long-term effects from it. And just like an oil spot, on the racetrack, where you try and avoid that oil spot so you don't crash again, right? They clean it up the best they can, but there's still splatter, right? So I think in our marketplace, we're going to have some changes that are long lasting that I think are really good. Maybe not necessarily wearing masks forever, but maybe a different way of showing property and gloves and respecting the homeowners' things, and not touching things as much. And so I think overall it's good. It has been a really nice reset and a restart to the race. But the market is hot. Are you guys seeing good things out there? Brian, you've got a lot of loan apps and things going, don't you?
Purchase applications once again up for the 5th straight week. That's on a national level. So, you're talking about how competitive the market's going to be, and yet, we're probably going to have some sellers that won't be able to sell because of this, and some buyers that won't be able to buy because of this. But there still will be buyers out there and sellers out there that will be able to still kind of muster through and navigate through these times that we're having right now. And another thing that's probably going to open up and help too is I know we talked about this before in one of our meetings on scoring, and we talked about that the baseline score of 620 had gone up to 640 for us, and that some people had raised not even from 640, they went to 660, and some went to 680. 620 is back. So look, people are now, it's okay for people to have a score of 620 and up, and be able to qualify for a conventional or a government loan. So that's really helpful. But the market too, so flat, even though the Fed is still out there buying these mortgage-backed securities from April 1st all the way till now. I mean, it is literally flat. So rates are still at historical lows down here in the low 3s and the high 2s, depending on how you structure it. So it's a fantastic time to buy and inexpensive money, that's for sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
I will say, if you're out there and you're purchasing and you're struggling with those multiple offers, hang in there. There's a lot of buyers who are getting cold feet. Things are coming back on the market. We're seeing a lot of homes come back on for whatever reason. So just hang tight. Your house is being prepared for you right now as we speak, and just be patient and know that when you have a good realtor working for you, we're always trying to angle things. In fact, speaking of racing, I had multiple offers on one, and when I showed the house, there was a race dirt bike in the garage. And so I came home and I asked my husband, who is that locally? Like, how can I connect with that other agent and say, hey, I know your seller races so-and-so, you know, and just trying to connect however I can and get that little foot in. So we're doing that at New Dawn Realty for you, and just trying to get you in one way or another, however we can, but just be patient out there. If you're a buyer, sellers, it's great to be a seller right now. Just finished a condo listing with multiple offers yesterday. So it is good, and it's still a good time to buy despite the craziness in the marketplace. So it's a great time.
Yeah, that is. We do need to wrap up here, but I know I'm going to kind of let Brian finish this one up today. He had a little inspiration for you, so I'm going to turn it over to him, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Okay. Here's what I found. I thought it was a little profound. We forget that waking up each day is the first thing that we should be grateful for.
Ooh, I like
That one.
I like how that tags along with your quote from last week. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I think a grateful heart is so important. And I never used to be a morning person, but I get up now at 4:30. I'm not working at 4:30. It is my personal space time. But when I see the sun come up in the morning, I'm like, just thank you for the sunrise and the sunlight. And finally the warm days. Oh my goodness. Hooray, hooray for warm days. That's a great point, Brian, to be thankful for even the littlest thing, just waking up. Like, I'm here, I've got a purpose. Each of you have a purpose in life, and we need to be grateful for that purpose and just being here. So good point. Okay, so do comments, right, Janessa?
Yeah, comment, engage, share. You know, what are you doing to get your rolling start going? And to keep your positive outlook every day as we move forward, as things start picking up again, things start opening up again. There's a lot of, I think, encouragement and hope and happiness with summer coming and everything slowly starting to kind of get back to whatever the new normal is or whatever. So anyway, comment, share, engage.
Denise, sorry, but Denise was going to say Memorial Day, because we're not going to see you guys till next week. So just as Janessa is trying to keep us on track, wait, stop, go to Denise really quick.
I just wanted to remind you that Monday is Memorial Day, and if you don't have any plans, I recommend that you drive by a cemetery for the military. My mother and my stepfather and my uncle are buried at Fort Logan, and it's really cool. I know it's kind of sad, but it's still cool to honor them, and just to see that every single plot will have a flag on it. It's really interesting, and I've driven by many times to see that. I think it'd be something fun to do.
And I have such a heart for the military. Like,
yeah,
guys, for
right.
Much love.
service.
We have to be thankful for them. We wouldn't be here.
Absolutely. And not just those who serve, but the families they're serving too, by allowing their loved ones to go out and battle for us. So like I said, big heart for you, if you can see that.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We look forward to your shares and your comments, and let us know how we can help you, and if you have any other questions that you want us to answer, and we'll see you next week.
Happy Memorial Day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.